In this video, we're going to discuss coloring a subject and also doing some shading on it. So with my image up, you can see that I've mostly colored my character already with several layers of color. If I shut them off, it takes away the color that I put in, so you can see all the different layers I added. You want to individually put all the flat colors you want in there. I also have an image from online that's helping me see what type of colors I need if that assistance was needed. You want to make sure you have a black and white image like I have here, uploaded from online, and that's your choice. What we're going to do is we're going to create a new color now to add to this, and that's going to be the floor or the ground in it. So I go to right here, hit solid color, and I pick a color that I want. I can always change it later, but the color picker comes up. When I select that color, I want to hit OK. After doing that, I have the color picker there, but I want to be on the right one that's a white box and double click on it. It'll allow me to invert it, and now I can color in it. So what I do is I have the black box selected, select my brush, and you can see I can start coloring. But I want to make sure that my opacity is correct, and I want to select the right brush for the job. In this case, I want a sharper brush that's more like a pen. So in this drop-down menu, I can pick the different brush tip I want. So now what we want to do is we want to make sure if I'm using a drawing tablet that my Huion app is up. If not, click on the search bar, type in Huion, and enable the tablet to open. If you see the image here like you see, that means you're connected and your tablet will respond. If you don't, you might need to restart the computer. Now I'm going to start coloring my ground in, but I also have to make sure that if I make a mistake, I can hit Edit Undo or use the eraser tool. But Edit Undo is the best move. But if you overlap and you see that the black line of the subject is being colored over, there's one setting that you missed in setting this up, and it's right here. Instead of a normal layer, make it a multiply layer. That'll allow the color to go behind the black outline for clean work. So I'm going to take my time and finish coloring around edges, and I'll also show you how to rotate the canvas so it's easy for you to get to tough areas with your drawing hand. Zooming in is a key feature in Photoshop that allows you to really get focused in detailed areas with ease as opposed to drawing from far away. Take your time in this process because the best craftsmanship always creates the best outcome. I had the keyboard sitting on my tablet and it was getting bumped. That's why that image kept popping up. Now I can also go right here where the hand tool is and click and hold, and I can rotate the view so it's more comfortable for my hand to color in the direction I'm looking to do. So I'm going to color this area where it's really important for me to be against that straight line. And I'll show you how to create a color in straight lines as well in the last part of this coloring review. So as I go up here, as I start coloring, what I'm going to do is if I want to color in a straight line in an area, as I get close to that line, I actually going to click at one point with the color, then hold shift and click again, and it will create straight bands of line. And that will give me really clean edges. So with that basic coloring of the ground there put in, I can now go back in here, double click on the color and alter the color. As long as I color there, it will change the color for me so I can see different options I have if I wasn't happy with the first one. And I can always do that. The next step we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how to shade. So right here I had a clipping mask I recreated on the pants, and you can see that I shaded on it. So in this example of Luigi from online, you can see that the artist did shade and add effects to make the clothing look more three-dimensional. We're going to do the same thing on part of him here. So with the green enabled, I'm going to shade the hat. The way I do that is I create a new layer that goes directly above the green layer to shade the hat. And what I'm going to do is create a clipping mask for it. A quick shortcut is right here in the layers window. And I glide down to hit create clipping mask. And you can see it's indented with an arrow dropping down onto the green layer. That means that this layer is dedicated to that. So I'm going to simply click my brush tool, go to the color selection, color pick the green that already exists right here, Once doing that, I want to create a darker version of it, so I'm going to find a darker green. In this case, I selected this dark green, and I want to make sure I have the proper brush for it. And like in past projects, we want our opacity to be around 20% if we want to do some fading. And with a soft brush, I can airbrush this in. So now as I apply the color, just want to make sure I am not set to normal layer, that I'm set to multiply. As I apply the color, the pressure I put in is going to allow me to create soft transitions when I need to, but also good blends. And you can see you'll see when I zoom this away how it'll feel like there's a shadow in the hat. And that creates three-dimensionality in space with value and form. I'll continue shading the hat. And the nice thing is, because this layer is only dedicated to the green, I can't get this shading on any other part of the picture. It can only go on the areas where I've colored green. That's what's so nice about a clipping mask. It allows the artist, the digital artist, to be very clean with their work without a lot of hassle. That's why it's important for you guys to put the big color flats down first. It'll serve you a good purpose in the end. I can move to other parts now and shade them, so it'll be the same process. I want to shade the shoes, so I create a new layer above the shoes, dedicate it by creating a clipping mask, and then pick any color I want. So here I sample the brown, and I'm going to create, in this case, probably a darker brown, so I can shade underneath it. And of course, I can lighten areas up too by picking a lighter color and painting in lighter tones, or I can erase colors away. It's my choice at that point. It's all for the style you want to get out of it. But when you do a photograph and you want to color a black and white photo, it's important to mix colors to create a lot more originality. You can always pick the eraser to lift color out and try again and go back and forth. But again, flatly colored things are great, but also if you want some more enhancement to it, learning to shade it is one of the best practices you can learn. Thank you.